it's recording. Here you
Okay.
go. Hold it.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, in this video I want to talk about whether or not you should start a personal development website. That's the question I got today. Alright, let's jump right into it. The quick answer is probably not. From my experience, I usually see like personal growth and dating as the two default topics that everybody jumps to, because those two topics have the lowest barrier to entry. Like literally anyone can sit down in front of a camera and start talking about like the 3 laws of attraction and how to know when you're an awoken spirit and how to be authentically you and how to live your heart-centered life or some other generic nonsense that doesn't really mean anything. But I mean, some people like that content, I guess, but that's why I suggest not starting those topics. Instead, what you should do is try and follow the advice in like one of my previous videos and really genuinely try and find your topic, which is like, look, think about the kind of person you are and what you're genuinely interested in and what you're good at and what you like talking about, and then, you know, how you can provide value to people, and then figure out like what people are paying for. Put that all together, and that's how you build you online, okay? You kind of put it all together, and that's the topic, that's your niche. Don't just resort to like, oh, well, I'll just talk about dating chicks because I've had girlfriends in the past, or, you know, oh, this website's talking about law of attraction, I'll start talking about law of attraction. That's not how it works. For personal growth websites, you usually have to go through some like really deep, dark period of time, and then overcome that dark period of time and be a better, wiser, smarter, stronger person. And it's only when you've like paid your dues, proverbially paid your dues, then you can start like that sort of website. But you know, if you're 22 years old, you shouldn't be talking about like how to be a man and masculinity. You know, if you're 26, don't be giving me life advice. You know, you really shouldn't be talking about life advice until you're at least a 30-year-old man and you've seen the world a bit. Otherwise, it just comes off as silly, unless you've had like some sort of like unique experience, like, you know, you're 21 years old and you've built your own business already, and they're like, yeah, okay, then you're kind of someone who can talk about it. But if you're just a person who's just in high school, in college, or I just have a job I don't like, I'm gonna start talking about law of attraction and girls and how to be authentically you, and nobody cares, nobody wants to read a site like that. You have to have the life experience in order to create a website like that. So if that's you, then go for it, okay? If you're the kind of person where it's like, you know, you actually like journal and you're actually like really into personal growth and personal experiments and trying to be better and trying different things to make yourself into a better person, yeah, live your life and share your story through a website, great. But don't do it if you're just someone who's like living at home with your mom and dad, or you're just working in a cubicle and you're not happy and you want to start a website. Don't start a personal growth website. That's not appropriate for you. All right, now with that said, let's take a look at some examples of personal growth websites that I think are working, why they're working, and the lessons we can learn. So are you ready? Let's jump over and get started.
Okay, welcome to my laptop. Let's begin. Now, this first website is called Far Beyond the Stars by Everett Bogue, and it blew up really quick. It went from being a tiny blog to having 70,000 monthly readers and more. It got to somewhere like 100,000 monthly readers within a year. It seriously blew up. And this is how you make a personal development website work. You have to live the change you want to see. Nothing more complicated than that. So, you know, one part is like branding, one part is being authentically you. Now, I hate that word because it's like, be authentically you, live your heart-centered life. I know. But in this case, it's like with personal development, you really have to be authentically you. Meaning like, you can't fake it, because if you fake it, you're just going to be a little bit of a copy of the more popular blog, and people are going to associate you as just an echo. And you don't want to be an echo. You want to build your own brand. You want to build your own thing. You want to stand on your own and be unique, and that's it. You know, I don't want to like plug myself too much, but like you visit websitecreativepro.com, that is my thing. I'm not copying any other website. I'm not copying the design of any other website. I'm not copying the style of any other website. I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing what I like to do. And now, while there's best practices, and that's how you achieve success by following proven success principles, which is what you totally should do, you still need to get the branding down correctly, and you still, more importantly, need to be authentically you. Because even if you have a poor design, but you're able to tell stories and write well, you can still grow an audience. And that's basically what Everett did with this website, because here he has an excellent little bio. So first off, I personally love this. Hi, I'm Everett. I'm the author of link to my book that you can buy and link to my book that you buy. I live and work from anywhere. I'm currently in here. I work here. My writing, social proof again. My writing has been featured on this big habits blog, and I quit, and here's a link to the blog post. And I write this blog so you can teach you how to apply minimalism. If you like what you're reading, sign up here. I think it's done very well. And then you have links to his books that you can buy. He also has a free opt-in, or I think he just downloads for free at the time, but yeah, it's done really well. It has all the hygiene that you look for, like it has a little bit of social proof. It's an elegant, simple design. It matches when you think of like minimalism. This site fits it perfectly. It's not complicated and crazy looking. It's very elegant. And more importantly, his writing is excellent. Like, that's another thing with being a blogger. Like, you actually have to have a talent for writing. And truthfully, most people, including myself, I'm not saying that I am a talented, I am not a good blogger. I like writing, but I know my limitations. I know, like, look, I don't have the knack for it. Like, I can write, I can share my opinions, but when you read people who can actually write like him, you realize that, like, okay, like, he's a much better storyteller. Like, I can write tutorials and instructional stuff and whatnot, but I am unable really to like take a story and be a good storyteller. And that's a really strong skill that you need to have, no matter what the overarching topic of your personal development website is. So Everett is just one heck of a writer, and you know, a good sign of like successful websites is that you'll always find like kind of copycat websites. For example, I don't want to call anyone out here, but for example, like the Art of Minimalism. I mean, you just look at this. This is like this is a copy. This is an exact copy of this design. And I mean, this guy is smart though, to be honest with you, because I followed him for a little bit. And he basically just copied. He literally copied the design and in the writing style and everything. And when this guy pivoted to starting talking about technology, he pivoted and started talking about technology. And he was able to leverage this website into a job working in marketing. So it all worked out for him. But like, my whole point is like, look, you don't want to be an echo, because you're not going to be able to build a successful website if people are just going to associate with you with like, look, if I'm here, this guy is the popular minimalist blogger. So it's like, you're clearly copying him, and people don't respect that. You know, you don't want to be an echo of more popular websites, because you know, you don't have the life experience. Like, this guy's talking about like how he had a job and he quit and he packed all his stuff up and he moved across the country, and then he's writing the blog, sharing his story. That's really interesting. This guy's like, I became a minimalist. During my senior year of college, I became a minimalist. Yeah, me too, buddy. Because it's like, you don't have any money. It's like, yeah. It's like, it's so silly, you know? So that's my whole point. You know, you have to have good storytelling. You have to have good branding. And that's it. So I really like this site because, you know, this site blew up because he has a picture of himself here, and he's able to just tell good stories and write well. Another good personal development website that I really enjoyed that still exists is called inoveryourhead.net. Same thing. He has a great about page. He's the CEO of Breather. He's written this book and this book. Again, he's an outstanding writer. And he's great at storytelling, and he has a unique perspective. He has unique ideas and unique topics that he comes up with. He doesn't just write you know, generic articles that you think like personal development articles, like you know, 3 benefits of meditation, very generic, basic stuff like that. No, you know, he's jumping into really unique topics that you wouldn't think about. And more importantly, as again, like, you visit this website, it's like, what is going on here? This is such a unique design that it's very memorable and has very strong branding. So just waiting for his best of page to load. Okay, so for example, like the best of, like the complete guide to not giving a F. Let's go down, see more of his best content. 100 tips about life, people, and happiness. 20 things I should have known at 20. How to read a book in a week. He's an outstanding writer, and he has great branding. Okay, so let's jump over to another website I constantly mention in my videos, Bold and Determined, just because this guy's a crystal clear example of like, this is how you start a blog. And look, he's not like writing about how to be a man, I'm so manly. He actually like demonstrates that he lives his life and he's had these life experiences. Like this is a good example. Like when you come across posts like this, he talks about how to be a genetic freak. So like, this is what he looks like now. It's like, wow, he's in shape. But then he's like, wow, I used to look like this. And this whole post is an excellent composition of like how to do storytelling. Like he's hilarious. His writing is, while you may agree or disagree with him, his writing is outstanding because one, he's funny, two, he's unapologetic, and three, he has this just unique perspective that he's able to translate into his writing. Instead of like, he's not looking at other websites like, oh, what should I write about? Let me read this site and this site so I get inspiration. He just comes up with his own ideas and creates content on it. And like, he's got a distinct brand. Like this site is not like other sites. Like this is a personal development site, but instead of just being a generic personal development site, he kind of narrowed it down to being a personal development for men and talking about like success for men, money, dating, that sort of thing. But that's his broad topic, and so much so that you know, he has a lot of copycat websites. And again, I don't want to call anyone out, but just like, for example, you visit this site, and it definitely seems to be copying the same style. So like if we were to go to new start here page, you know, we have the picture and we have the red text and about the blog and links, but then we go to about alpha and it's the same thing. I live a badass lifestyle, you know, and like this is a trap that people always fall into with starting a blog. Like, don't copy more popular websites. It's such a mistake because, you know, people are not going to trust your website simply because like this site, I haven't read this site. This site could be great and he could be very authentic, but it's like, look, I'm on this site and it's like, well, I know that you copied this site because this site is the big dog in the industry. This site's the one that's getting 10,000 visitors a month or 10,000 visitors a day, literally. So don't copy other blogs. Like, you come up with your own branding and style and have your own unique perspective, and don't just be like, you know, I read Bold and Determined, so I'm gonna start a blog and I'm gonna start talking about like lifting weights and being manly, or like Far Beyond the Stars. Oh, I like reading about Far Beyond the Stars, I'm gonna talk about minimalism now. Another example is like Steve Javelina. This is an old school website. Really does not appeal to me at all, but it's still very popular. Steve is like a vegan. He's been a vegan for 20 years. He's into topics like astral projection and personal growth and personal experimentation. And the thing that I like about Steve is that, again, it goes back to like personal development. Like, he lives his life and he shares his story. Like, he lives the change he wants to see. He's not just talking. He's not just some guy who works in a cubicle and is just talking about you know, 10 ways to be happier, you know, things like that. I don't know, just that sort of personal development content that you think is very basic. He's, you know, has unique experiments. So for example, let's go to YouTube. Steve Javelina, water. For example, like, he wrote a whole blog series about water fasting. And he has videos on water fasting. So, you know, we go to day 1 about his water fast. And, you know, that's what he's looked like. He's introducing that he's going to do a water fast. Water fast means like he's not going to eat any food for a month. I know, it's crazy. And here he is at the end of the 40-day water fast. And it's like, yo, you want to see, like, why does he have a successful website? Because he does what he says he does. He's not just some charlatan, you know. He's not some fake it till you make it, some bullshit artist, I guess, as people would put it. he's actually living his life and he shares it. And he knows what his content is. Like, his content's like oneness, authority, courage, power, love, truth. This doesn't appeal to me at all, but like, this is like, he's got his brand. Like, he's not trying to be a manly blogger. Like, he's got his own thing. He's not trying to be like this guy. He's being himself, and people gravitate to it. And also, again, it goes back, he can write. Like, he's a skilled writer. Like, some of his posts, like 10 reasons why you should never have a job, 10 reasons why you should never have a religion, things like that are like massively popular because he's being authentic. And someone else is, for example, Sensify. This guy, his name is Jacob from New York. I've met him a few times. Really nice guy. He got his start with Sensify like 6 years ago or so, 7 years ago, because he was working in IT and he was trying to figure out, like, I'm not being fulfilled. And, he just started this blog and just started writing and started networking. And like, look, he's from New York. He's being authentically himself. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, yo, I'm Jacob. But that's like how he actually talks. Like, he's a dude from New York. He's not trying to be like Steve Javelina, like live your heart-centered life. Or like this guy, lift weights and be like super alpha. Wow, sorry, that's a terrible impression, but you get what I mean. He's being authentically himself. And he was able to grow Sensify into a nice little business where he sells products and then he does coaching calls with other people. And the last one I want to take a quick look at is fairly generic, Project Life Mastery. Okay, to be honest, this could be improved. I think this is kind of a generic title, like Project Life Mastery. He's definitely copying Tony Robbins, and it's Tony Robbins-esque, But what makes this work is because of who Stefan James is. Like, he's, he has a beautiful, this is his girlfriend right here. He has a beautiful girlfriend. He has a business. He has social proof. And like, he's an example of like a personal development website that doesn't really incorporate too much storytelling. Like, he incorporates a lot of storytelling into his videos where he relates the topic to something that happened in his own life, which is great. But he doesn't do that too much with his blog posts. His blog posts are really more like value, like really trying to figure out like what keywords, what terms that people are looking for. And also, like, he knows what he's about. So, for example, let's go back. Okay, like Project Life Mastery, online business and self-development advice. Like, yes, like that's exactly what this site is about, and he sticks to that topic. He doesn't go off on tangents where all of a sudden he's talking about minimalism and he's talking about lifting weights or something like that. He really is like, it's about create your freedom, master your life. Like, he has like, this is great branding. So when I see this, like, create your freedom, master your life. That's the theme, and he sticks to the theme. And he's able to talk about that because he's able to he's able to show social proof. He shows pictures of himself on his website and videos of him talking about things that have gone on in his life. He has goal reports and income reports and all that good stuff that really makes you trust that this guy is like living the life. He's not just some dude who's like, oh, okay, I'm an accountant making $40,000, but I want to start a personal development blog so I can make tons of money. No, he's actually like living his life, sharing his story, and it makes you trust the website because of the design and the branding. Like, you visit this site, he's got his own style, he's got his own design. This is not like he's copying any other website, and that's critical too. So like with a blog, particularly in the personal development niche, it's like you really need to like, who are you? Why are you creating this website? What is your story? And like, are you able to write? Are you able to incorporate storytelling? If you're just some guy, you can be that guy who's like, I'm an accountant, I want to start a personal growth website. Totally. That's what like Jacob did. But talk about your life. Talk about the journey of like trying to figure out how to get from where you are now to like where you are in the future. Because like, that's what Jacob did. That's what his blog was like 7 years ago. That's what he was talking about, like how to like transition from where he was to like where he is now. And now it's like, he can talk about different topics about, leveling up and talking about different topics of success and whatnot. So anyways, guys, this is, that's it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.